Well, the winter's over, the roads are clear. That means it's time to take the car out of storage mode because it's Shelby season.
Hell yes!
All right, so first thing, let's get rid of the disposable cover. Nice, lightweight, inexpensive body shop covers they use for rain, dust. Keeps the car nice and clean. And every year I get a new one. So first and foremost, let's see if any problems develop while this car is sitting stored away in the garage for the winter time. I just changed the oil, but while I was under there, before I took it off the lift, I did check to see if there were any leaks underneath it. Now, even if you don't have your car stored on the lift, the first time you take it out of the garage, it's not a bad idea to look where it was underneath the vehicle, where it was parked, to see if any problems arose. Now you're going to have the most amount of time to identify a problem. So you want to do a good visual inspection. Did you get any leaks in the cam covers? Sometimes those are known for leaking. Did an animal make a nest under the car? That's always a possibility. Before that initial first start for the season, just want to make sure that everything's good. So I don't see any problems. I didn't see any problems when I was underneath the car. Everything looks good. It's also a good idea before that initial start, even if you did or didn't do an oil change, make sure your oil level is good. It's perfect. Make sure your coolant's okay, brake fluid's good. Basically make sure that everything is good to go. And in that case here, I don't see any problems. Everything looks good. So next thing I need to do is unhook the battery tender. So sitting on the battery tender all winter, so that should be good. I'll just cover it up, I'll tuck it away. Make sure it's away from any hot parts. Make sure it's away from the exhaust manifolds. Since it's not probably going to be on the battery tender most of the summertime, I want to make sure that's good. Take the battery tender lead out of the way. I actually run mine through the fender, and I'll run that out of the fender vent in a minute. But under here, I think everything looks good. When I put the car away in December, I put 35 pounds of pressure in the tires. Now, it's a little bit more than it calls for, but just sitting in storage and these tires not having a lot of pressure in them to begin with, and tires being porous, they're gonna drop down a little bit. And they dropped from 35 to 30 pounds. So lost about 5 pounds in about 4 months on these tires. So I'll bring them all back up to 32 and I will be good for a while. So all 4 tires are pumped up. I just did a visual inspection of what I can see on the tires just to make sure there's no punctures or anything stuck in the tires. I did a good walk around of the car, no surprises, everything looks good. So let's go in the car and let's just do an engine priming before we do the initial start for the season. So most, if not all, new Ford vehicles have basically essentially an engine priming mode built into them. Here on the Shelbys, essentially what you'd have to do is push and hold the accelerator and the clutch to the floor at the same time and hold them down and push the start button. That's basically going to cycle the engine for about 5 seconds on the starter. It will not introduce fuel into the engine, but it basically primes it, gets the oil pump running, and if the car has been sitting for a few months, especially you live like me up in the north where you don't use it in the wintertime, it's a good idea just to get the oil flowing. You don't have to do this, but it doesn't hurt. So accelerator to the floor, clutch to the floor, and just push and release. All right, As you saw the oil pressure gauge, it jumped up to almost 50 pounds of pressure. So now we have oil in the upper part of the engine, and the top of the engine basically isn't dry anymore after sitting for so many months. So now you push the clutch in and start the car as you normally would. All right, now since I'm gonna be using the Shelby for the summertime, I'm gonna leave it off the lift so I don't have to bring it up and down every time. I don't really need the room right now. So if I need to use the lift for working on another vehicle, it's available. I just took the car around the block. Everything felt good, no weird squeaks, rattles, anything like that. I'll just do another good check under it, make sure there's no problems, no leaks or anything like that. But the car is pretty much now ready to go for the summertime season. So hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching.